Hi, good evening, everyone. We are on here for our second pre-K town hall. So we want to welcome you guys in. And as you are coming in, we want to play and share a really fun video with you that's coming from Network 5, Live Network 5. We hope you enjoyed that really fun and funny video. That was all of our principals in Network 5 came together to make that really cool video. They even had their principal supervisor on there, their ILED. And so we just wanted to get you guys excited about talking about pre-K tonight. So I am Crystal Francis. I am your Director of Early Learning Programs. And tonight we are having the second of our 2 town halls, getting us ready for school this year. In today's town hall, we're going to talk about what do we need to get ready for school? What do we need to get ready for pre-K? So we're super excited to have you guys join us. So the first thing we want to share is, have you registered yet? This is how you register. You can go onto our website, you can find your zone school, and your zone school is your neighborhood school. So you can type in your address right there. Once you type in your address, it's going to let you know what is your zone school, and you can give them a call, check to see if they've got seats available. We still have a ton of seats available all over the city, so we want to make sure that you can get your child into school with us. So we're super excited. There's a couple of different ways that you can register online. You can call. We've got some paper applications. So we'll show you that in a bit, but we always want to make sure that you know where to find your school. So if you guys were with us the last time, you'll recall that we did a really fun little game where we wanted to see who was in the audience, who is here. So once again, we're going to do that because we want to give you a chance to shout out your school. So you can go to menti, menti.com, and type in this code, 794136 And once you type that in, shout out your zone school. Let us know who's here, who's in the room with us, who's in the building. And the schools that have the most folks participating are participating in a challenge that we have called our Great Pre-K Challenge. So we want to see who is here. So shout out your schools. Let us know. All right, so don't forget, go to menti.com, type in that code so we can see what schools are here with us. I hope you guys are typing, or we're here by ourselves. No, you guys are here. You guys are typing. That's what's happening. Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. All right. Look at that. You can see it live. Fed Hill is in the building. Lakewood is back. Lakewood was with us last time. Roland Park. Oh, not to be outdone. Here comes Hamilton, Cecil. Nice. We love seeing all of our schools represented. All right, you guys keep typing that in, letting us know who's there, and we'll share a little bit later who's winning, who's got the most folks who are representing today. And we've got one more way that you can connect with us too. We've got this survey. It's a tiny URL, and you will type in Learn Pre-K, and that's your way to connect with us. We want to figure out who you are. We want to know who you are. So you can fill this out now. You can fill it out with us at the end. If you win something, we want to hear from you. We want to know who you are. We want to connect with you because we want to be able to keep up with you. You can ask us questions. So please make sure that you're going to that survey. All right, so now we're going to get into the meat of what we really came here to talk about. What can we do to get ready for school? So fortunately, I've got some other folks here who are going to be able to share some really good gems with us. But the first thing that I want to tell you is, what can you do to get ready for school? Here's the good news. You're already doing it. You're here. You're here. You're asking questions. You're ready. And our job as educators is to meet your students where they are. And so we want to make sure that we are partnering with our schools and working very closely with you guys in order to make sure that we have our students ready when they're in pre-K so that we can get them all ready for kindergarten. So I'm going to ask Dr. April Anderson. She is our Judy Center coordinator at the Billie Holiday Judy Center, our newest Judy Center, our 12th and newest Judy Center. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about what we can do to get ready for school.
Thank you, Ms. Francis. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to get started talking about enrollment. And one of the things that we want to know is what you want to do to get ready is how you enroll. If you have not enrolled yet, we encourage you to do so. Knowing how many kids are coming to school helps the teacher and the schools get ready for the kids on the first day. You can enroll online on the city schools website, which is highlighted for you there. On the main page, you would click enrollments, then click pre-K and kindergarten. It's a little bit hidden at that point. So you want to find this paragraph that you see and click on an online registration system. It's the part that's highlighted in yellow, but it's just a red link on the website. So you want to look at this paragraph here, see that red link, and click on that. From there, you'll input all of the information that you need, upload the forms and documents, and that'll be what you need to do to get your child enrolled and ready for school. So the next thing that you want to do is get outside and play. Playtime outside is so important because this time helps your children develop the large muscles that the children need to be able to sit in a chair, to sit on the carpet for circle time, and focus for the short periods of time. Jumping, running, falling, rolling, all of those are what we call gross motor movements. Those help children to develop the body and spatial awareness they need that helps them exist alongside larger groups of other children. Plus, burning that energy makes bedtime a whole lot easier for you and for your children. And speaking of bedtime, it's important now, even before school starts, to start to develop some routines that will help you get to school on time every day. One of the first things you want to do is to take a look at your bedtime. In all honesty, kids in preschool need 10 to 13 hours of sleep a night. That is a lot of sleep. That's almost half a day. If your school begins at 7:30, you'll likely have to be up and moving by 6:30 a.m. to be there on time. That means your child needs to go to bed between 6:30 and 8:30 at night to get enough rest, and they may still need a power nap when they get home. If they've been going to bed at 9 p.m. all summer long, now is the time to start backing up that bedtime. You can do it in 15-minute increments at a time until you get to the best bedtime for your family. 7 to 7:30 is really that sweet spot for a lot of kids. However, it's going to take practice to get there if that is not what you've been doing so far. How are you going to get these kids in bed this early? Develop a routine. So important. Doing the same things every night and letting your child check off each step along the way is a part of how you can develop a routine. We can help. Every Sunday for the next month or so, the commissioners from our school board will be reading bedtime stories at 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings. They will be live streamed on the Baltimore City's Early Learning Facebook page. Commissioner Roberts is starting us off this Sunday by reading Tar Beach, and she will have a special guest. So get in your pajamas, get your teeth brushed, everybody cozy up, and log into Facebook on the Early Learnings page and join us. The other thing you want to do is to start habits for a smooth morning routine. So to help get ready, you're going to focus at the night, but you're also going to focus on the morning. Most of us slowly roll out of bed when we don't have somewhere to be, and the kids are no different at all. Pajamas till noon? Absolutely. Snacks for breakfast? It's okay. But once school starts, it will be helpful for kids to know what they have to do and to practice doing it pretty independently. That will help the morning routine go smoother for you as well. Have your child help you think of what needs to happen before you leave in the house in the morning. Draw some pictures together. Practice doing all of those things every day until school starts. By August 30th, you will both be total pros. You'll be ready and good to go. Lots of school start times have changed this year, so we ask you to please check with your school well before the first day to find out what time you need to arrive and where to go when you get there. The more you know about how to get to school and those times and where you need to be, the less stressful that first day of school will be for everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. I feel like we're getting ready, right? I think we're ready to go. So next, we're going to answer some of your questions that you all have been putting in the chat. So we're going to read some of those live. If you have questions that are really school specific, it's probably best to ask those questions to your principal, but we'll do our best to answer those questions. And it sounds like we also have Calvin in Broadwell, Marianne Winterling, who are also here with us. So we see you guys. Keep sending us those schools. Do we not have any questions? That means we're doing a great job. Okay. Well, if we don't have any questions, we can just power through to the next thing. All right. Keep on putting those questions in the chat if you have any. So, you know, we're early learning, so we've got another game for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this the last time. So this time you're going to go to kahoot.it on your device. So you can use your laptop if you're on your laptop, or even your phone. Go to kahoot.it, and then on the next screen, you're going to see a code. And we've got some prizes too. So make sure that you follow up with us on that survey so that if you win, we can make sure that you get your prize. Billie Holiday's in the chat too. Hope you guys are proud of your Judy Center coordinator. And we see you, Nathan, Dr. Nathan Pitts Ashburton, and Cecil. All right, so once you get this pin, just start typing in your name. All right. Shout out to Emily. So Emily, please, if you can find us at the end, fill out that survey. Let us know you're Emily. Let us know that you won, because we want to make sure that we connect with you, because we've got prizes for you guys. All right, so we're going to keep this moving. So now we have joining us this evening, the wonderful, wonderful principal of Lakewood Elementary, Principal Erica Parker. And she's going to talk to us a bit about some more of the things that we need to get our students ready for pre-K.
Hello, friends and parents. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, what can we do to get ready for school? Ooh, what do we see pictures of? Let's practice some self-help skills. So it was mentioned in the last town hall that being potty trained is not required for pre-K, and that is true. But it would be wonderful if you started working on those self-help skills at home, because it just may help your little angel feel more independent and confident when they go into the bathroom, know that they can try to take care of some of their needs. Be sure to help your child practice washing their hands, you know, not just right here, because they like the inside, but we got to get the backs, we got to get between the fingers, get them to practice that, because we want them to wash for at least 30 seconds. So if they can sing the alphabet song, if you hear them singing in the bathroom, that's a good thing. So we just want to make sure that they're taking care of their hygiene, practicing pulling up pants, pulling them down, practice with zippers and buttons. If you can get the ones that are just elastic waist, that would be great. Let's see. We also want to practice covering our mouth, even though we'll be wearing masks. And we want to practice wearing masks, but continue to practice the vampire cover. And if your sweetheart has been home without having to go out with the mask on, we're trying to build tolerance for masks. So make it a game. See if they can get it here around their chin, get it up to your nose, your mouth, and then cover their nose. So we want to practice with wiping our noses. So as parents, I do know that it can feel like you're rushed for time, and if you have to leave, it's just easier for you to do it. But please let your sweethearts practice some self-help skills. I know they may be a little slow, but it'll work out for their best interest in the end. All right, what else can we do to get ready for school? We're gonna practice following directions. Oh boy. So I know parents may be used to barking orders at our little sweethearts, but we're gonna practice just giving them a gentle direction and seeing if they can follow it. Make it a game, like Simon Says, red light, green light. Remind them to focus. And I used to always tell my students that focusing is putting all of your thinking power into this one thing right now. And to listen, to make sure that they can hear the whole direction before moving, because we want to build on skills. We want them to be able to follow one direction. Then if I tell them two things back to back, can they do the first thing first and then what's next? We just want to build on their following direction skills. Practice letting them get dressed independently. That may take waking up a little extra early, but again, we want them to practice being able to put on a sock. Can I put my pants on? I know buttons can be a little tricky, but we want to work on their skills, their fine motor skills, as early as possible. Buttons and zippers and tying shoes, trust me, that's a whole process, but we want to just get them in the habit of, can you put the shoe on? Can we put the shoe on the right foot? Can we pull the pants on? Things like that. All right, let's see. All right. Ooh, my favorite. Get a library card and use it. Not only is the library an awesome place to cool off, hint, hint, today's the hottest day of the year when it's crazy hot like this week, but it also offers a ton of free services for families. They have play groups, story time, creature features, challenges, contests, and more. Plus, you can access content online using BookFlix, Overdrive, and Canopy for free with your Enoch Pratt library membership. And they do have children's library cards. You can apply for your library card online. They even have a special first card for kids. Right now, their Summer Break Baltimore Challenge is still going on. If you sign up, you can get access to special events and you can earn points to win prizes. Yay. Oh, I see that they're putting questions in there. Okay. What else can you do to get ready for school? So you want to start gathering supplies for home. I can tell you that at Lakewood, we're trying to make sure that we get our children the supplies they need for in school, but you are going to need some supplies for home. So it's just good to have pencils, crayons, scissors, glue, paper, Play-Doh, things to count like beans, small toys, cereal, whatever is safe that they can count to practice at home. Also check with your school to see if there's a supply list. And now I think we're at the question portion. I know that there are some questions, and wonderful Director Francis is going to come back.
All right, so we did get I've got a question related to this PowerPoint, and they asked if we could make sure that this was available for our pre-K teachers so that they could share this with families. And so absolutely, we'll make this available for our pre-K teachers in case there were any families that weren't able to join with us today, but they can send that out so that families can all have an opportunity to get themselves ready as well. I'm gonna pass it back over to you, Principal Parker.
Okie dokie. What's next? Getting ready for school. Visit your school. My goodness, I love this idea. If your child has not been in a structured school setting before, perhaps doesn't have an older sibling that they've helped walk to school, have them walk past the school, drive up or walk past and go, hey, you know, you're going to be going there soon in a couple of weeks. So walk by, drive by, let your child know that this is the place where you're going to spend some time, that they're not going there forever, but that they can play on the playground if it's accessible. See if you can meet any other families. See if your zone school is going to have any events where you get to maybe take a sneak peek at your seat, or come meet the staff, or even just come meet the office personnel so that they'd be at least one face that they'd recognize. So they want to be familiar with the building. You don't just want to show up on August 30th and your child is like, what is this place? Where is my mom bringing me? So let them get familiar with the building, help them feel comfortable, and show them that you're comfortable with them being there. Oh boy. What else can we do to get ready for school? I don't think I have that one. Let's see, we've got the library, we've got fun time, we've got, I don't see what I'm missing.
We got reading songs and reading books and playing together with our families.
And making it fun, the expectation of getting ready for school. Oh boy. Yes, hop in to see what else I'm missing. Oh, now this is really important. Parents, this is super important. So we always say it takes a village. It really does take a village to raise a child. So it's helpful if families have an emergency plan for if your little sweetheart is not feeling well. It's really rough to try to think of it the day that it happens, when you go, oh boy, little Johnny's moving awfully slow. He doesn't look like he himself. So what you want to do is make a plan before it actually happens. Fever and vomiting must be completely gone for 24 hours without medication before they come to school. So parents, it does not mean give Johnny Tylenol and then send him out the house because you know he has a fever. Please, 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 because all that's going to do is annoy you when the school gives you a call to say he has to go home. I mean, you know how it feels when you're sick and you're out. We don't want our little sweethearts out and sick. They wouldn't feel comfortable in school anyway. So remember, vomiting and fever must be gone for 24 hours without medication before they can come back to school. Know the number to the school in case the school does call you, because I know sometimes it's off-putting if you see a phone number, you're like, oh, I don't recognize that number, that's spam, you know, that scam likely, don't. Just know your school's phone number. All right, know who your child can stay with during the school day if you cannot be home with them. It really takes a village. Make a plan if your child gets sick when they're at school. We all know it happens. They're fine 1 minute, then the next minute. Let's see. Okay, I see a question. There was a question of, is there any aftercare for pre-K? That is typically a school-specific question. Some schools have it available, others do not. It all depends on what resources the school has. If they have maybe a community partner that works within their building for aftercare, or sometimes even before care, it depends. So check with your school. That's a good hint and clue that you want to talk to someone at your school before the first day of school. Let's see. I think that was it for the sick. What questions might you all have?
All right. Well, thank you for jumping in on that question about aftercare. Absolutely. That usually happens at the school level. So you definitely want to check in with them. We had another suggestion of having parents to expose their students to tools for writing and drawing, which is a great suggestion. A lot of our little ones know how to use their iPhones and Androids and all of those things, but sometimes we're not writing as much as we used to because we all spend so much time texting or typing. So that's a great idea. Get your students used to scissors. They can just cut whatever little scraps of paper you have around the house, and then grab a little couple of crayons. Sometimes you can get them at restaurants when they give them to you for free, and you get those little crayons and you can find some little coloring books or something, but that's a great thing to practice while you are getting yourself ready. So are there any other questions? All right, that means you guys know what is going on. All right, so we got another game for you guys. So if you can get back onto Kahoot.it, we're already on there, so I think we'll be ready to go. And then on the next slide, we're going to give you that code. So remember, once you go to Kahoot.it, go to that, get that code and type that code in, and then you'll be able to join us for the second game. Uh-oh. Sorry, Emily. Looks like Cece got you this time. Congratulations. All right, find us afterwards. We can make sure that we get you your special giveaway. And I hear that we've got more schools who are in the chat. Rosemont, Roland Park, Stewart Hill. Keep shouting at your schools. We're so happy to have you guys joining us today. So the next thing that we want to talk about is SEL. And I think we've all probably heard this term floating around a lot in our schools. So we've got the SEL expert here in Baltimore City Public Schools, Ms. Katia Stokes, who is the Director of Student Wholeness, and she's going to talk to us a bit about what we can do to get ready for school.
Hey, everybody. You know, Crystal, I have to say that my colleagues here have given such amazing tips, and they've talked so much about pre-K that I think I'm ready to go back. Principal Parker, make room. I know I'm a little too big, but I think I'm ready. You take me, Principal Parker. Thank you. So yes, as Crystal said, we've all heard a lot about SEL, and I'm sure we have questions about exactly what it is, what does it mean. So I'm gonna do my best today just to give us just a little bit of a background. So as you can hear, pre-K is full of opportunities for discovery and exploration. So developmentally, when we think about what's happening in pre-K with our young people, they are discovering more of who they are, right? What they like, what they dislike, becoming more aware of their feelings, and even thinking about becoming more aware of how others are feeling. They're getting used to meeting and greeting and getting along with new people and friends in school and teachers, and then adjusting to just a new environment and possibly some of those new routines. So it's exciting to see them grow into their own personalities, right? So our little ones are learning new social skills, or maybe they're practicing or refining some of those skills. So whether it's taking turns or sharing their toys. And then emotionally, they're also learning new ways to just cope and adjust to new experiences. So you think about that, it may be being okay with spending more time away from family, or learning how to communicate their needs, or just being able to respond appropriately if they're feeling sad or maybe frustrated. All of this that I just described, and you could probably picture it as I was describing it, is what we would call SEL. And SEL stands for social and emotional learning. All right. So just I'm gonna give you a little sneak tip. Hold on to that. SEL is social and emotional learning. I even say maybe give you a tip to drop it in the chat too. So really quickly, so social emotional learning refers to the set of skills that are important for healthy emotional development. All right. So you look at the pictures here, there's a great summary of what those skills are. I'll give you a second just to look over those. All right. Hopefully you had a chance to look at those. And so really when we think about it, those skills are understanding and managing emotions, feeling and showing empathy for others, or kindness towards others. Is really getting used to establishing relationships and new friends with others that are meeting in our class, being able to set positive goals, and really think about making some really good positive choices. If you heard this and you thought, whoa, oh my goodness, I use those skills every day too. That's what I need to do to be able to get along in my own relationships or do well in the workplace. You are absolutely right. These are all skills that we are utilizing every single day. And so in pre-K, that's the time when we're starting to refine and practice those skills, right? So I'm sorry. I feel like can you still see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think my screen is doing a little jumping thing here. So what does it look like in the context of preschool? So that's a good question. So let's think about in preschool where they may be engaged in pretend play, right? During this time, they're going to be using new words. They're going to be using sentences to express how they're feeling. They're going to be using sentences to express their thoughts, right? So that's what we would call that self-awareness and being able to name what it is we're feeling. They may also become aware of how others are feeling, right? So they might notice the facial expressions change of their friends, and they might notice, oh, well, Maybe they're not ready to share, or maybe something's going on. So they're able to recognize or become socially aware of what's happening with others. Or if we think about when it's time to sit in a circle, or maybe sit in a chair for morning meetings. Sometimes they might sit on the carpet, and you might get the wigglies. In school, I had a student used to say, I got to get the wigglies out. I got to get the wigglies out, right? And so being able just to manage what's happening with our body and learning how to just keep our body still, or being able to stay and pay attentive during that time, that's also another skill. And that would be that management, that self-management. So when you think about it, in school, it is really an opportunity for our young people to begin to develop their self-image and begin to have an awareness of others and begin to be able to develop really positive relationships with others. This is, again, is a strong foundation for future development. Next slide. All right, so you might be thinking, so what exactly can I do to help practice SEL at home or get them ready? I thought you would never ask. So unfortunately, I left my little face mask. I actually spent time this morning to make some of these so I can show you. But the first one here is you could just take some paper plates. You can get popsicle sticks, or you could maybe get another set of paper, maybe construction paper, and you know, I can fold it over, right? And it'll make like that a little accordion thing or stem, and you can attach that to the paper plate. Whatever it is you decide to do, this is a great way where you can make emotions or faces on the paper plate. So whether it's a happy face or a sad face, maybe an angry face, whatever it is, you can begin to help our young people practice in naming those emotions. So you can take that paper plate that's happy or shows the happy face, and you can have them say, that's happy. And you say, exactly, that's happy. Again, that's great for them to be able to practice to build their emotional vocabulary. And this is a great way to do it. Another way may be to also just practice in the mirror. So let's say we don't have the paper plates at home, that's fine. We could practice it in the mirror as well. We know that our young people love to be able to imitate. So we can look in the mirror and we can practice making those facial expressions. And maybe you can make a facial expression and have them be able to guess, well, what is my face saying right now? Again, that's another opportunity to just practice naming those emotions. And then we want to just think about just regular opportunities throughout the day to do that. So, you know, sometimes our young people might notice that their mood might change or their feeling might change. Think about when they're really excited to go somewhere. Now, let's say the weather changes and all of a sudden they can't go. We might notice that their mood or their feeling shifts or change. That's a great opportunity in the moment there. And I have here on the slide is that sentence stem at the end. Very simple. You can notice the feeling that you see, and you can let them know when you see that emotion and then ask how it can help. So let me give an example. So we'll take that same example of maybe I was really excited about going to my cousin's house, but then it started to rain. So now I can't go. As the parent, you might say, I see you're feeling sad about not being able to go to your cousin's house. How can I help? Right? In that moment, we're still able to name the emotion for them that they are feeling. But then by asking the question, how can I help? We're also developing their ability to advocate for what it is that they might need. Next slide. All right. So remember I said that we also, for one skill, is being able to regulate our bodies, and we just talked about being able to regulate or share our emotions. So I'm going to give you two more very simple skills. Again, if you notice, very cost effective, doesn't take a whole lot. Simple things you can do every day just to get ready. I was going to say raise your hand if you love bubbles like me, but I don't think I'll be able to see them. Maybe you could just drop it in the chat if you love bubbles too. Blowing bubbles is a great way to be able to practice breathing in and breathing out, right? So you can just take some bubbles and blow out. This is, again, a great strategy that you'll be able to teach your young person that maybe if they're feeling upset, or really if they need to be able to calm their bodies down, they can practice blowing the bubbles. Another one is the 5-finger breathing. And I'm going to take a few minutes just to model that for you. And again, this is something that you can practice at home as well. It's also a great tool to be able to have, you can share with the teacher to say that my child knows the 5-finger breathing. And that'll be one thing that they can do at home as well as in school. So what you'll do, you start at the bottom of the palm of the hand. And as you go up, you want to breathe in. You can have them practice and trace over your finger with you as they're learning to get used to it. And then after you're getting used to it, you'll be able to do it together. So your child will be able to use their hand and you could be able to use your own. But in the beginning, you can have them trace with you. So let's take a few minutes and we can practice it together. So you want to hold your hand like so. And start at the bottom. And as we go up, you want to breathe in. So when we get to the top of the finger, we pause, hold it. You could count to 3 and hold. And as you go down the finger, breathe out. Remember, up is in. Hold, 3, 2, 1, out. Good job. One more time, up, breathe in. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Wonderful, wonderful. One more time, breathe in. Hold it, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Last, breathe in. And breathe out. Good job, everybody. Hopefully you feel a little bit calm after that. And even if you didn't need to get calm, hopefully that helped. I think we call it woosah, just to give you a woosah moment. So hopefully that helped to give you a little bit more context about what social emotional learning is and gave you a few ideas of how you can help develop some of those skills at home as you prepare for preschool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm over here finishing up my woosah. Thank you, Katia. That was awesome. I loved every time you share with us about social emotional learning because I always learn something new. And it sounds like we have a lot of people who really enjoy bubbles. I'm also a person who enjoys bubbles. So the dollar store may be out of bubbles very soon. So it's time for questions. Do we have any questions that have popped up for us in the chat? We'd love to be able to answer them for you. Okay, let's see. One question we got is, will students be sitting at desks or tables? So that's really going to be based on whatever is happening at your individual school. Some schools, our pre-K students do sit at desks, and other places they sit at tables. So students are still going to be socially distant. You can always double check those health and safety guidelines. We update those pretty regularly. So right now, I believe students are going to be about 3 feet apart. But depending on whether they'll be at desks or tables, that will really be based on whatever is happening at their school. Let's see, do we have other questions? I know there's another one. Oh, will there be a town hall for kindergarten? So I'm not sure if there will be a town hall for kindergarten, but let me tell you guys a secret. All of the things that we're talking about today for pre-K, you can use every single one of these tips for kindergarten, every single one. Our pre-K students and our K students aren't that much different, right? Pre-K, they're 4, and kindergarten, they're 5, but all the things we've been talking about, play, getting them ready, their independence, SEL, you can use that for students any age. So everything that we've discussed here today, you can 100% use for your kindergartner as well. And there was another question, will SEL be available for all grades? Yes. So Katia, did you want to share with us and tell us about all of the work that your team has done around SEL?
Sure, absolutely. So yes, SEL will be available for all grades. As I shared, those are skills that we are using throughout our lifetime. So what you can expect to experience is that our young people will have an opportunity to engage in what we call a morning meeting, or it might be an advisory if they are in 6th grade and above. But in pre-K to 5th grade, it would be a morning meeting. During that time, we'll have an opportunity for our young people to explore some of those coping strategies and skills. We'll have some activities around building those routines. And again, that's going to be for all grade levels. We will be sharing activities that our teachers can utilize in all grade levels. It's called, the first thing will be like a 30-day toolkit, where we'll go first over self-awareness, being able to be aware of who we are. And then we'll go into a little bit of self-management and building community. Again, practice and recognizing some of those coping skills. And then we'll get into some of those relationship and development skills. Again, that opportunity to build community, and then also an opportunity to just get really adjusted back to a new set of routines. That was an awesome question, whoever asked that. Thank you for asking.
All right, we have another question. Do pre-K students need uniforms? So that is based on what is happening at your school. So you definitely would want to check in with your principal, that school secretary. The school secretaries know everything about the school. So you should definitely check in with them. And we have another question. Will students be COVID tested? So I really want to encourage you guys to go back to those health and safety guidelines that we talked about earlier. Those are updated very, very regularly. So you'll be able to see what is happening. As we know, last year, students were doing asymptomatic testing. And so again, our guidelines are always changing because we want to make sure that we are staying with whatever the CDC is recommending, but definitely check those health and safety guidelines to see what's going to be happening in our buildings for your students. Where can I get this information in Spanish? Oh, that's a really great question. I think, are we on Zoom in Spanish? Yes, so we've got the Zoom link. Wonderful. And our whole website can be translated, and we usually do a pretty good job, hopefully, of translating a lot of these documents, particularly in Spanish. So hopefully that will be very helpful to you. All right, any more questions? Any more? All right, guess what, guys? We've got another game. Okay, I promise this is the last one. All right, remember, Kahoot.it. You guys know how to get there now. Okay, we're gonna go to the next slide. We're gonna show you the code. Go ahead and type that code in. This is the last one, last opportunity. Emily won the first one. Cece won the second one. Who's gonna win the third one? I can't wait to find out.
While you're signing in and putting the game pin in, I'm going to tell you that the questions for this last Kahoot are a little bit different. We've had true and false questions so far, but this time there are multiple answers for each question. So as we get to each one, I'm going to read them out loud to just make it go a little bit more quickly. Go ahead and get your names in there. When I see a few more pop up, we'll get started. All right, what does SEL stand for? Is it singing, educating, and learning, social emotional learning, silly elephant language, or Saturday early lunch? Social emotional learning. Which of these is an SEL skill? Showing empathy and kindness, reading short words, counting to 100, or reciting nursery rhymes. Great, it was showing empathy and kindness. When you notice your child's mood or feelings changing, you can notice and name their feeling, ignore the change, mimic their mood, or tell them to smile. That's right, notice and name their feelings. True or false? Play helps children develop social and emotional skills. That's true. And last one, true or false? Pre-K is important. Now we had some folks on the last one. I see Chris shaking your finger. That's right, pre-K is super.
All right. So, actually had a couple more questions that dropped in the chat. So I want to make sure that we can get to all of them. So who will be administering the COVID test? So our schools have health and safety coordinators who have been managing that process for all of our students. So they've done a wonderful job this last school year. They were even working this summer of learning our students. They're a part of our school community. So those are the folks who are going to be administering those tests. I'm not sure what version is being used though. And how do kids access school assignments if they have to quarantine? So that's really going to be a decision that your school is really going to be working on, figuring that out. We want to make sure that we can make sure that kids are still staying up to date with the work. But obviously they're going to have to be at home. So I would definitely circle back with your school, with your child's teacher for what those plans are going to look like. Because we do want to make sure that even if students have to be at home, that the learning does not stop. So the last thing we want to share with you is connect with us, find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Great future start early on Instagram. Like we said, this upcoming Sunday, we're going to be doing our bedtime stories live. Our really, really wonderful Baltimore City commissioners. Some of them are reading stories with us. So we're really working on counting down to getting ourselves ready for school this year. And then finally, that survey link that we showed you guys at the beginning, we dropped that for you in the chat. If you can connect with us on there, anything else that you want to know, any other questions that you have that's connected directly to our office in the Office of Early Learning, let us know if you won something. We want to make sure that we get you your prize. So we thank you guys so much. We've got, 2.5 weeks until the first day of school. I can't believe it. We are so excited to see your little ones in their super cute masks. If you haven't registered for pre-K, please make sure that you do. If you have any questions, definitely call our office, or you can email enrollment@bcps.k12.md.us. And thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We'll see ya.